Hey you guys, it's me, Gemstone from tarotforhealing.com. I hope you guys are doing really well. This is your monthly reading. This is for the Capricorns, and I want to tell you guys I'm still doing the 2016 year ahead readings. So if you're interested in that, do check out my website. And also I want to tell you guys that on my website there is a post about the energies of 2016 and how those energies are going to be generally like affecting all of us, and kind of where to lay your focus this year. But obviously this reading is a bit more just specialized towards the different signs, but that post is really general, but it's still quite interesting, so do check it out. I am going to be using the Tarot Illuminati. That's the bag I bought to put the deck in. It has comes with a matching bag, but you do have to buy it separately. But anyway, I am going to be doing it like I usually do, starting off with your finances, and then moving on to your personal life and then your spiritual life. So let's see what shows up for you, Capricorn. Your first card is the Princess of Pentacles with the Four of Wands with the Nine of Swords. So basically what I'm seeing here is that I feel for some of you guys that you have some worries over finances, and I think that for some of you, because the Four of Wands can be about a home, it might be that maybe you're having difficulties either paying your mortgage, or your home situation might be threatened in some kind of way. Maybe you have fallen into errors in payments and stuff like that. But I feel like there is a threat to the stability of your money and your finances, and this is like really a big concern for you. It's almost like the money just isn't enough. There's money coming in, but you're not making enough money maybe to cover your needs, or like to cover the things that are most important. You might be worried even about your family, or about your future, or about the state of things right now, and it's like things just might be really getting on top of you. The interesting thing is that it doesn't feel like all negative with your cards, because with the more beginning cards, like the Princess of Wands and the Four of Wands, it's kind of feeling like with those cards things were a bit more bright. So it might be that maybe you decided to take on a different opportunity, like maybe you decided to move into a different job, or maybe like the job that you were in just wasn't fulfilling you, and maybe you wanted to transition into something else, but that something else didn't prove itself to be as lucrative as you thought it would be, or as you feel like it should be. Because it's not like it feels like things was positive at one point, and there were some good things, and things did feel like it was going well, and then all of a sudden things became like they were threatened all of a sudden. I also feel that you might be going through a feeling like of turmoil or upset that you're not that you feel like you can't tell other people about. Like maybe you feel like you can't tell other people that you're going through financial problems. Maybe you don't want them to worry, you don't want your family to worry, or people around you to worry, so you make it seem like you have everything under control. But then it's like when you go away and you're alone, that's when you kind of think about things and you worry about things and stuff like that. I always feel like problems always feel a little bit lighter when you are telling somebody else, or when somebody else is kind of going through the experience with you. So I would say, if you feel like there's somebody that you can speak to, like do speak to them. But then at the same time, I can understand that, you being a Capricorns, I feel like you guys are really, you always want to feel like you have everything under control. Like I've never met a Capricorn that kind of, even if they're going through hardship, because you guys are like ruled by Saturn, so Saturn like gives hardship, but it's like even if you guys are going through a difficult time, you always tend to look like you have everything under control and everything is okay. It's like you don't want anyone else to be concerned about your issues. And so and I entirely get that, and you're not the kind of sign to really to seem vulnerable. Like you don't really want to give off that impression to others. But I'm just a firm believer in, if you need that kind of support, that kind of help, like, you should reach out and use what is around you, the support system that you have around you, or people that are around you to kind of help you. Again, even if they can't even like physically give something, but sometimes just speaking about what you're going through can just be, feel you make you feel a bit more at ease with your situation and what is going on. So that's kind of what I'm seeing there. um and so for those of you that are in relationships, you have the Ace of Wands with the Princess of Swords with the Ace of Swords. So, ooh, two aces, really kind of new energy coming through. And then Princess, which is like a page as well. What I'm kind of seeing for you is, this is really speaking of either being in a new relationship or a lease of life being injected into like an old relationship. But what I see here is that it's fun, it's happy, it's bright. Like, all the cards are bright in your reading. It's like there is this really positive feel surrounding relationships, and there's good communication, there's clear communication, there is passion, there's excitement, there's joy. And then in the middle, it's almost like you it's like you really, this person, they're open with you, they're honest with you, they tell you, what is going on with them, and you really feel like you can connect with them because of the fact that they're probably so honest or so direct in what they say. So I really get this good impression in terms of relationships. I just feel like I think relationships need that kind of revival at times. And so I think that there's something that you're going to be doing to revive your relationship or to build that connection again. Maybe the two of you are even going to do something different that you've never done before. But whatever that different thing is, it's going to give that spark back again. Or again, if this is a new relationship, just the fact that you are meeting this person and getting to know them can be given this obviously new lease of life, because it's just going to feel fresh and different. And again, that there is this excitement of just meeting somebody new and having this connection with somebody else. So I feel like that's a really good thing. Yeah, it's a really positive kind of feel to these cards. I'm also drawn to the hands that are here. So interesting how the tarot works, because when you look at these cards together, like, this one almost looks like a close-up of this one, like almost looks like a close-up of her hand, almost. It's so interesting. And so to me, it's almost like a double message in that sense. It's almost telling me that if you've had any difficulties with relationships or feeling like you haven't found that person to connect with, like, all that feeling is gonna pass. It's like things are clear now. You see the truth in things. You can see things as they really are, and there is no veil. There is no mixed emotions. There's no uh standing on the fence or not knowing how things are going to go, or what this person expects of you. It's like you understand your place in the relationship, and so do they. Yeah, which is really nice. And because of all these hands, it does speak of a sense of feeling like you have some influence in the way in the way things are gonna go. Hmm. Yeah, it's like you feel, so you don't feel like things are just passing you by, or you're with somebody and they're kind of not considering you. I get this impression that you're feeling that you are, a what's the right word? It's almost like saying you feel that this person, a sense of belonging with this person. And I'm sensing, maybe the reason why like it's coming out that way for me is I think that you may have been in a situation previously where you didn't feel that way. Like, maybe you were in a relationship where you didn't feel it as valued, or you didn't feel like you had a sense of influence or input. And so now it's like you have a relationship where all of that is happening. So that might be why you're feeling more positive about things as well. So Sometimes I get tongue tied and it's difficult for words to come out, but I always make it there in the end. So, okay. For those of you that are not in relationships and that are single, oh gosh, I'm shuffling these cards like horribly. Okay. It's the Seven of Cups. Oh, so you guys are going through what the relationship ones. The ones it's so weird because I did talk about knowing where you stand and stuff like that, and for those of you that are single, you're getting cards where it's like you don't know where you stand, and so this one is like the Five of Swords. And then it's the Chariot, but it works out okay for you. Again, it's like a very similar theme of the Seven of Cups is kind of saying, when things are just up in the air and you're not quite sure about anything, your mind is wandering, you're really focused on like this fantasy or a dream, or things that are not exactly real at this time. But then the Five of Swords is kind of saying maybe you've had to face some harsh realities. Maybe there was something that again you was in your mind about and it seemed really good, but then you were dealing with a character that wasn't all that good. So it may have been somebody that was kind of um that you wanted to think highly of and you wanted to see them in a positive light, but then they've shown you that they're not that kind of person. And so I believe in what like Myra Angelou says, that when a person shows you who they are, you should trust them. And so if you're around people that aren't of the best of characters and you're starting to see the signs, then it's kind of telling you that you have to trust that this is who they are, and make a decision accordingly. The Chariot is kind of saying that you're plowing through any difficulties anyway. So I think that even if you are around somebody that isn't the best of characters, I think that you will know how to deal with the situation. Like the first thing that came to mind when I saw this card is like it's almost like you're going to be steamrolling past this person. So what that tells me is that it's like you are not in the you're too, I don't want to say too good for this person, but it's almost like you're a better character basically. And so it's almost like what they're doing can't get you down. Like it's almost like this person that says, I've been through it all, like nothing else can pretty much affect me, or nothing else can pretty much take me out of my comfort zone, or take me out of character. So that's what I get with you. It's like you know how to deal with the person to where you're not getting mad, you're not frustrated, you're just basically telling them it as it is, but you're keeping your cool and you're keeping your calm, which is it's not an easy skill to master, but at the same time I think it can be very powerful when it's used. Sometimes we think we have to, rant and rave in order to get a point across, or in order to seem powerful, but really our power lies in just staying calm and cool headed. And again, just telling a person, if this is what you're going to do, I just don't accept it, or I just don't, that's not who I am. So I would say kind of be careful with people that are kind of like that, people that again may not be all what they seem, or like even when I look at these cards, it can be saying that or people that try to trick you as well, people that try to sell you something, or promise something, and then it's not all what it quite seems. So but I think the Chariot is saying that all of that will become apparent, and again it's like it's not going to affect you, you're just going to keep on pushing basically. So don't worry about that. When it comes to your spiritual cards, you have the Princess of Cups with the Three of Swords, with the Two of Swords. If ever there was a time in your life, or a time recently, where somebody has hurt you, or a person has disappointed you, especially like I was looking just at the cards that showed up for those of you that are single, if you're in a position that is like that, then it's kind of telling you, for one, it could be telling you to protect yourself from certain people that are like that, but also it's kind of telling you the hurt will only last for a certain amount of time. Basically it's like you may be put in a situation where you're dealing with somebody, and this other person may do something that's out of character, and well, from what you've seen of this individual, but I feel like this person already, like, they had the capability of doing this from like day one, but it's like now you're seeing them for what they really are, and you might be indecisive about how to deal with the situation after this has happened. But I think that is telling you, don't be indecisive. The chariot is saying just move on, like, don't worry about it, just move on, just keep on going. So don't be on the fence about anything, especially things especially if you're in a situation where somebody has done something that impacts you, that either hurts you, or that isn't conducive to your own life. They're not benefiting you. If that's the case, then it's saying don't stand on the fence about whether you want this person in your life, whether this person will change, whether this person will be different, should I give them a second chance. I would say don't even bother with it, just kind of move on with things. Okay. um and sometimes, again, because he showed up in your spiritual cards, it could be saying that, sometimes spirit reveals things to you as well. Like, sometimes, it's just the right time for you to see what this individual is like. And I think that that's kind of how it's tying into the theme of showing up here. That basically it's like spirit is telling you, okay, this is the time for you to really see this person for who they are, so that you can move on, or because this could have been somebody that's been in your life for quite some time, and that might be where the difficulty comes in when it comes to making a choice about how to deal with them. But to me, it's kind of saying that this might have been the time where things had to sort of be exposed, and so now you have to make a choice on what you're going to really be, how you're going to be handling this whole situation. um but yeah, emotional things might be showing up for you. And for you, it's like you don't really know whether to follow how you feel or whether to follow what your mind is kind of telling you to do. I don't know whether in this instant it's kind of telling me follow your mind. Usually I would tell people, follow your heart, but for some reason, like, looking at your cards, it's like your heart isn't in the right place to make the choice, because you're feeling too sort of, you're too invested emotionally in the situation for you to make a rational decision. Coming from an emotional place, you have to sort of think about it more in a logical way. Think, okay, this person did this, what does that mean? you know I think sometimes when we're too invested emotionally, we can kind of make excuses and be like, oh, maybe they were going through this, or maybe we're going through that. Like, we try to be a bit more sympathetic. But I think that sympathy is good, but at the same time, sometimes you just have to kind of say, okay, is this person worth being in my life? Are they not? You know? And that just has to be what it is. So, okay. Especially if this person has hurt you in the past as well, and they're doing it again. Like, because then you can really see, okay, this is who this person really is. So, okay. Peace and many blessings to you, Capricorn. I'll be seeing you. Bye.